the never-ending process of expansion called personal development. You have to understand that personal development is the task, the goal, to infinitely continue the process of your expansion, to grow and expand every day, all the time. You have to understand that being the best version of you, being the most high vibrational version of you, being the most positive version of you is going to literally expand you in every area. To be positive and to attack your goals and to move through life at the highest vibration. You have to understand that expansion is simply the stretching of your mind to match the external responsibility. And so when you hold yourself accountable, you hold more responsibility, you hold more integrity, therefore you expand faster, you expand larger, you accumulate more strength, more power, more expansion, because you bear the burden of the responsibility to expand internally. The moment you bear the external responsibility by holding yourself accountable, not picking up a bottle to escape yourself and try to escape the unescapable, but to actually fix yourself into something you don't feel like you need to escape. Every time you pick up the bottle, every time you pick up the cigarette, every time you pick up the vape, every time you pick up the weed, it's because there's something internal that you lack, and then you need to find an external bandage to bandage the internal bleeding that you have. But all you have to do was simply fix, uncover, and become aware of what is hindering your growth, and then do everything to decimate it every single fucking day. And so you have to understand that all you need to do is hold yourself accountable. When you hold yourself accountable, you hold yourself to a different level of responsibility. And the moment you reach to that, the moment you bear that burden of responsibility, you stretch internally to match it. So if you are irresponsible, if you cannot handle holding yourself accountable, if you can't even wake up for your life, you can't hit the assigned early ass fucking wake up, if you can't count the macros and hit the workout every single fucking day, if you can't read a page out of a book every single fucking day, well, it's because you lack accountability. You lack personal accountability. If you can't quit the addiction, if you can't drop the smoke, if you can't drop the bottle, if you can't drop what is actively poisoning yourself, if you can't stop passively killing yourself through addiction, if you can't hold yourself to that level of accountability, you have to understand that you're just irresponsible. And the moment you understand you're irresponsible, that you have the opportunity to bear the responsibility and to stretch internally to grow into that version of yourself that no longer has to depend on these external substances, that no longer has to depend on this external validation, this feedback loop that is feeding you nothing but bullshit. You feel like you need their validation, but that's the lowest level of validation. You have to understand that the highest level of validating yourself is to wake up and do what you need to do to be a better person, to overcome what is keeping you weak, and to expand and become stronger, and to grow and to accumulate more strength and power within yourself, to empower yourself to higher levels of execution, to execute yourself at the highest level, to execute the tasks of the day and to get it done. That's all it is. All it is being able to get shit done at the highest level. To not stress about little things, but to have the mindset that everything is going to work out as long as you do what you need to do and you work on yourself as you're supposed to. Everything will fall into place if you do your part. If you do everything right, if something goes wrong, you'll know that you did everything right. So why would you feel wrong? You know internally that you did what you needed to do. So if something doesn't go right, you'll look at it with a smile on your face. People always wonder, how can this person be so positive? This person's car broke down and now they're stuck and they're an hour late to whatever they need to show up to, and somehow this person is still positive. It's because that individual did everything they could do, and because it still went wrong, they knew they did everything right. So who gives a fuck if it went wrong? Because I know on my part, I did what I needed to do. So who gives a fuck? Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, it's going to be a new day, and my life will continue on this infinite cycle of day and night, day and night, day and night, until I hit the fucking casket. So who gives a fuck? The only thing that I give a fuck about is to expand every fucking day by challenging myself and then defeating the lower version of me. To go into my memory and to go and think about all the past versions of me, and then to reflect on it, and then to decimate that individual by just relentlessly stopping on his head figuratively and being the best version of me every fucking day. And it's that fucking simple. All of you guys want alignment, you guys want to accomplish these goals, but you can't even hold yourself to a certain degree of accountability by staying sober, by getting fit, and by reading and becoming a competent individual. Your problem is lack of accountability and incompetence. You need to become competent by picking up a fucking book, reading it, a book that will feed your soul knowledge, so now you are actually informed, right? So before you're experienced, you need to be informed, because when the experience comes that's going to challenge you, you're going to need the information to inform into the individual that is going to tackle that experience like it's nothing. And so the first step before we look at any experiential, like lessons, right? Because you have to understand that experience is a lesson in itself. And before you tackle yourself, through experience, before you really put yourself in that adversity to pull off that move, to take that risk, to bear the biggest fucking burden and bear that shit like it's nothing, to become the best version of you, to become the person who will bear the biggest burden like it's nothing. Before you can do that, you need to be the individual who's informed on themselves, that can hold themselves to that degree of competence to know and to be able to grow, to learn. The best skill on the planet is to know how to learn, and to know how to learn quick. The faster you can learn things, the faster you can adapt. That is going to be the best skill, because the faster you can adapt, the faster you can learn, the faster you can integrate different skills into your psyche and execute at a higher level. So the best skill on the fucking planet is to know how to learn. If you can learn, you can get any task, and you can adapt into the individual to get the shit done. And this is why people who know how to shut the fuck up, not be arrogant, those people will get the shit done. And those people are usually the ones that evolve the fastest, because they don't have an ego holding them back. Every time you feel like, you take pride in picking up a bottle and poisoning yourself. You take pride in the vape. You can't even drop the weed. This weed has become a part of your identity. You can't even step out the fucking house without wearing weed Crocs. I mean, you can't get worse than that. I mean, you guys take pride in what destroys you and what keeps you lazy and low level. That is a pure sign of incompetence. You need to become competent. You need to become aware of what's holding you back. The chains of mediocrity are very fucking weak, but you're weaker, so the pull feels like nothing to the chains. You can't break the chains. You have to become the individual to break it, but you can't break chains if you're weak. You need to become strong, and you do that by holding yourself accountable, waking up every day for yourself, and becoming the best version of you. It's that fucking simple. Personal development community link in the description. Peace!